Okay, and we're live, and Nancy said, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it.
Hello, everybody. And yes, part of my side of my head's going like this because I have a fan going. I'm trying to like ignore it, and it's just like, how can I adjust my fan so how there's, but oh well.
Oh,
Gotta love, menopause. So,
oh yeah.
but I wouldn't trade it. I'm happy being a woman. So,
Well, you know what? It's like we wanted to get our period. We couldn't wait. We couldn't wait. And then we got it. And now it's like good riddance.
oh my God, I was so happy when I finally got rid of mine, and
Yeah.
especially with all the pain and stuff, because I had the endometriosis and all that. And
Oh,
as I got into my 30s, I kept telling doctors, I do not want kids. I do not plan having kids. I'm suffering. Please, permit and nobody would
mhm.
sign off on the surgery. And it wasn't until my 40s when I had to have a biopsy done on a fibroid. And she's like, come on. She goes, it's benign. She goes, but with your history, with cancer in the family, she goes, let's go ahead and do the surgery. I'm like, yes, thank you, Dr. Thoda. She was awesome.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
And oh my God, it's been a miracle. It really has.
Oh,
So
that's wonderful. Yeah,
and everybody, I hope you all had a happy Mother's Day.
I did.
Especially Mama Sushi. I think this was her first child.
Yes. Yeah.
So I hope Mama and Baby Sushi, beautiful Aurora, had a lovely day. She says, I hope I can make it. So I hope
Yeah.
you can too. And Jackie Jacaranda,
Yeah.
she's here. And I don't know who let this broad in, but
I've had such a day. Oh my God.
and people are like, oh, she just did not say the B word. And I'm just like, hey, we used to joke backstage a couple of times, a couple of crazy old, or was that me and my counselor, Kathy? I said, we're just a couple old broads. She goes, yeah, we are. But it's so nice to be back. I miss Nancy. Oh, Nancy, I was with you last week. You were my only show I did last week.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you said, yes, I
So
want to do it. And I said, good,
yes.
because I do too.
And it was the rest of the week I took off, and oh, what a blessing,
We need
that
to do
was.
that from time to time. We really do.
Kind
Really.
of refocus, regroup,
Hmm.
and Miss Tarot D. Um, if you can make it, we will see you later. If not, lots of love to you, my dear. So yes, Nancy had a beautiful Mother's Day yesterday. She had all these lovely geraniums and
Yeah.
beautiful little skull candle that she shared. So I hope all of our mothers, this one here too, hello, Karen. I hope you had
Mm.
a lovely Mother's Day yesterday, my dear. And Jackie says, wow, Nancy, your hair has grown.
It is. And I wanted to show you, when I talk about that I'm going to my youngest son's log cabin and with my daughter-in-law, this is what it looks like.
Oh my God, I'm envious.
Deep in the woods, and there's a stream going down the front of it with beautiful rhododendron bushes, and just deep in the woods. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Oh, it looks like heaven.
Yeah.
That's one of our dreams is that we ever won the lottery. We want to have not a huge log cabin mansion like a lot of people build,
Yeah.
but
Oh
just
no,
one.
this is an old timey one. This has been here. It's like
Mm.
150 years old, 200 years old.
Oh, so lots of energy and history.
It used to be a hunting lodge way back when, years and years and years ago.
Okay. And this is in North Carolina.
Yes, in the
Okay.
mountains of North Carolina. Yes.
Ooh, any folklore of Sasquatch being spotted?
Not here, I don't think. I think that's more out west, isn't it?
Oh no, honey, it's all over. I
All
even
over.
recently found out
Well,
that there have been sightings up in upstate New York.
I haven't seen him yet, but I'll keep my eyes open.
Hi, Sylvia. Colorful Foresight is
Hey,
joining
Sylvia.
us. And I don't know if you saw that, but Karen says, I love how the trees archway to the cabin.
Yes, my son built that. Yeah, the
The
art
little
there. Yeah.
portal, little
Yeah.
gateway to
Hmm.
heaven. Wow. Oh, Nancy will be communing with the Fae, I am sure.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
So I hope everybody had a beautiful Mother's Day. And to the mothers who are fur moms,
Yeah,
happy belated Mother's Day as well.
that's
I
right.
didn't get any kisses or extra loves from the others, but yeah, that's okay. They go, as long as mommy feeds me, I'm happy. Hello, Dina. Hello, hello, my dear.
I'm sorry, that sounds like Darth Vader. That's my son. He's responding to my daughter, who is R2D2.
I was saying a little while ago before we came live, and I asked Nancy, I go, wait a minute, is that Agador or is that R2D2? It's R2D2.
Oh, goodness.
But that's so funny. I say hello to Dina, and all of a sudden you hear Darth Vader. Time for the
I've
Imperial
got my
March for
phone on
Dina.
mute. I don't know.
So,
Like
wow,
trying to
Dina,
push
what an entrance. Let's see somebody else. Hello, Lynn. Hi, girls. My hubs is a very balanced soul, but heavens, I sure need divine fun on Mondays. Yes, we all need that little bit of a balance, that little bit of, reprieve and grounding. And that's what I started working on. I didn't realize how ungrounded it's something that I need to really work on more because, after doing shows, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'll go grab something to eat, chill, relax. And it's like, no,
Mhm.
quiet it down before you go out there, breathe, feel your feet on the floor, burn some smudge, whatever. Grab one of my crystals. I have plenty of them around here for grounding, and just start really. And yeah, it helps. It really does. Um, Reset. Exactly, Jackie. It's a reset.
Yes, yes.
So today, Nancy, Nancy, I'll let you explain. You get this beautiful little goddess box or
Oh,
wee
yeah,
moon
I
box or
get,
something,
well, yeah,
and then
I get the Witch's Moon box every month. I used to get it all the time and I stopped, and then um last month I resubbed and I got a whole lot about sea witches. And this month I was hoping, gosh, I hope I get a goddess a box, any kind of goddess. I mean,
she
I'm
told me
up
that.
for it.
Hmm.
Um, and this is the goddess that showed up, and I had never heard of her. I don't know if y'all have or not, but here she is, the Healing Arts of Hygeia,
That's beautiful artwork.
Hygiea, and she is the goddess of let's see exactly what it says here. Um, of health and hygiene, and there is a poem that they included, and it's an ancient poem, Orphic Hymn of Hygeia, and this is where the caduceus comes from. You see how it's um, and I'll read a little bit about her, but this is what it says. The all blossoming queen and mother of all, to this hymn I call, your mighty miracle banishes and dispels the pain and agony of sickness and affliction, sprouting bliss in every home. O gentle goddess, may your hands bless our craft as yours blesses this dry land. May joy fill the ground we build upon, this space under which we stand. May your holy magic bring guiding spells to all those around us. Without you, only hardship and uneasiness awaits. No, weakness awaits. I'm sorry. For you, Hygeia, holds the great power over peasant and king. O great mysterious goddess, I praise, I sing. Defend us from sickness of body and mind. May we bask in your holy light and bathe in the divine. Have any of you heard
It's
of the
beautiful.
goddess Hygeia before?
I think I might have. Isn't she? Well, I know her name is very similar because I put names of a lot of the Greek gods and goddesses for the constellations. So
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering if her name might be on one of the stars or part of the constellations, but
Um,
I didn't know if she was an actual goddess. Jackie says no, she hasn't.
well, this says this is what came, and I'm not going to read all of this, but it says Hygeia was the ancient Greek goddess of health, cleanliness, and hygiene, daughter of Asclepius, Asclepius, god of medicine, and Apone, goddess of pain and relief. Hygeia was predestined to follow a similar path, often portrayed as a young woman holding a serpent, a cup or bowl. She represented the prevention and cure of disease through cleanliness and sanitation. Um, and then it goes on and tells, about everything that she did. But along with this uh, came this beautiful blue calcite
Ooh, let me put you back
candle.
on the big screen.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Yeah,
Oh, I
and
love
there's
that.
a body wash that came with it, and a ritual that when you take a shower or a bath, and then there were herbs and information on the blue calcite. But I thought that she was very, very interesting. And way back when, I mean, they didn't even wash their hands before surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really awful, but eventually, I think the first person that said they should do that ended up in a sanitarium. They thought he was crazy. They put him in a sanitarium, but
Now,
anyhow,
Karen,
and I did get this book. We were talking about it last week, and I did get this book, and it's really lovely. It has some interesting things about
when the women were the drummers.
Pardon me?
I said when women were the drummers.
Yes, yes.
That's beautiful. I can relate. I love my drums.
The first sentence says women today are on a tremendous spiritual search.
Mm-hmm.
So we are, aren't we?
We are. And the more that we are, and this becomes more for younger women, who are having children and will have boys, not just girls, can also properly teach boys that it's okay to acknowledge their feminine side and how to properly treat,
yes,
women as well. And Karen said that she did hear of her, but she didn't know much about her. So, and also really quick, I just wanted to share, Flowing came in while you were reading. She said she's resting from an aggravating phone call, taking deep breaths and patience. So we've all been sending lots of healing energy and positive hugs to Flowing, to Carmela. So if we can do that for her. And hello, Fatima. Fatima came in.
Fatima.
And let's see, I can't go back up any further, but Dina was sharing that she's been trying to do more meditating, but for her, she can easily astral project. And I thought, well, I said to her in chat, I go, wow, that's something I wish I could do. And she's like, no, she goes, there's nothing more unnerving for her as to drifting and then getting yanked back in and stuff. So for her, she said that was, it's something that she's learning how to control, and she's asking us to work with her spirit guides to help her with that. So, and maybe crystals for grounding too. If you go to meditate, maybe some hematite, some, smoky quartz, some obsidian, black obsidian, to kind of give you ground. Even mahogany obsidian, any of the obsidians are really good for grounding. And let's see, and then Sylvia being funny. Dina, is that when you're smoking a little something? Ha ha ha. No, no, no. And she was like, Sylvia, no. Now, Jackie says she had never heard of Hygeia, so we learned about Hygeia today, some of us. And Dina says, I'm afraid of heights, which makes it so much more fun. So with her astral projecting, it doesn't help her with her fear of heights. And Sylvia says she's getting better at grounding. So we can all learn how to ground a little bit better.
Yeah.
I was going to guess hygiene. Then I said, no, that can't be it. But yes, Hygeia. And the snakes like the caduceus. And I think the name was Asclepius or something, was with the medical and, this intertwining snakes and,
Mm-hmm.
which is also the lover's card, you know, for the Two of Cups. They, a relationship, a bond coming together, and the connecting of the, medicinal, um, the snakes for hygiene and all of that. And just really quick too to everybody, when I was at Barnes and Noble today getting my new deck of cards, I noticed that for anyone who is studying or is part of the or works with the Greek pantheon, there is a deck out. I didn't get the name of the author, but there is a deck out now that focuses on the Greek gods and goddesses oracle cards. So I would go ahead and check that out if anybody's into working with the Greek deities, the pantheon. And yes, go divine feminine. You better believe it. And
Did you
there,
see Sylvia's question?
I'm getting down there really quick. Flowing says Florence Nightingale for the hand washing. So I guess Florence Nightingale was one of the ones who started insisting on the hand washing. And down here, the divine feminine ground differently than men.
I would say no. Because doesn't the divine masculine also ground with Gaia?
It's the balance. We need the balance.
Yeah.
And that's why Nancy and I like doing the show, because even in our community, a lot of people talk about the ascended masters, but pretty much leave out, the goddesses, except you get your Mother Mary or your Mary Magdalene, but very rarely do we hear more about some of the other ascended masters or goddesses, that we can learn from, that are part of our culture, our history, our legacy as a people, and connected to our own cultures. Because no matter what culture you're from, a lot of our gods and goddesses all stem from the original, from when the earth was first created and when people lived by the land. And this was even really before written language. They just noticed that, the ground was sacred, women were sacred, the sun, the moon, everything all worked in tandem together. And they had to learn how to work and balance both, so that the whole village and their people could survive. And hello, Jessica Lynn. Good to see you, my dear. I know people, I'm getting down. I'm a little slow getting down the chat. Hello, Carrie is here. Odelia. Hello, Odelia. I hope you and Fatima also, and everybody coming in. If you're a mom or a fur mom, I hope you all had a beautiful Mother's Day yesterday. And everyone's saying hello to each other. Hello, Gypsy Girl. Let's see, Karen. I wonder if grounding depends more on your dominant element, what the best method is. That's an interesting question.
I'm just looking at my Divine Masters Oracle by Kyle Gray, and there are a lot of women who are Divine Masters. So,
very nice.
We
need to start talking about them more.
Yeah, I mean, some of the names are, but here's Mahat.
Oh yeah, she was on the bottom of my my deck.
And Kuan Yin. Mm-hmm. And Saptit. I'm not familiar with her.
I am not familiar with her. Ooh.
Ishtar.
I have to get that deck.
It's beautiful. And then here's Isis. Look at Isis. So these are all divine masters. It says, call back your power and what is rightfully yours. And then here's the Lemurians, which could be male or female. It looks kind of androgynous there. Then, of course, Mary Magdalene, Lady Nada, Yogini.
I know Michelle Marie would know how to say that.
Facing fear leads to fearlessness. Embrace your power. And Lady Portia. Those are just a few of them. There's some more that are females as well. But this is I love this deck because there's a book that goes with it about the Divine Masters, and I got it at a Hay House sale for $5 the book. Of course, it's more now, but it's amazing.
So I want to interject something really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these divine feminine have been known by goddess or goddesses.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering if Kyle went ahead and put them under masters so that they might be more appetizing to people who may feel more comfortable with the term of a master than a goddess.
That very well could be. I mean,
Because
he doesn't say that in his book,
Mhm.
but I was just going to look and see.
It's interesting because you have people talk about Master Jesus and Master Buddha and the
Mhm.
males being masters.
Yes.
And now I think, and this is just me sharing my perspective and my initial reaction. I'm not saying it's the end all be all, or everyone's going to be different. But for me, I feel like almost maybe taking the word goddess away again is taking away the divine feminine power, goddess, female, divine feminine principle. Whereas with master, you're taking away the gender. And I know that spirit, is together is not necessarily gender. We put gender on it, but at the same time, for me, it's almost defeminizing the goddess again
Mm.
and making her more palpable to people in another form, like a master. Just so for me, this is my initial perspective and my viewpoint. And just really quick, Fatima says today is the anniversary of Our Lady of Fatima's first apparition.
Oh,
Did not know that, so thank you for sharing that, Fatima. But yeah, when it goes from goddess to master, it's like, oh, master. So when you think of the word master, there's really no gender understood because spirit humans give divine, but there is a divine feminine and masculine energy. And
mhm.
we put female, we'll put a human face to it. But still for me, again, to make it more palpable is taking away the femaleness
Mhm.
of the goddess and putting it into something where so it's kind of like a bridge. And I hope that when people look at the cards and they'll go, oh, masters, but they'll be like, well, let's look up this master, and they'll see, oh, she's a goddess. And then, but for me, it's just interesting. I don't know. I may be the only one who sees that
No,
or
no.
feels that.
Bear Bear says that's a very keen insight, Heather, and it could very well be that. I mean, it's my understanding that a lot of these divine masters and even angels are androgynous. I mean, maybe whatever you're comfortable with is what comes to you. I mean, I don't know because I it was of course the angels have male masculine names like Michael and Gabriel and Chamuel, but Chamuel could be
See, I
either.
connect
I,
Gabriel with a female in water because
yeah,
when I was
yeah.
in my 20s, I came across a book on angels, and they
Mm-hmm,
said, yes, Michael, very fiery, that's very masculine. And then they
mm-hmm.
mentioned Gabriel, and I went, wait a minute, a female? Gabriel. Yeah, that's because the
Yeah,
names always felt very feminine to me. And with the cups and the emotions and watery, the womb, the messenger to Mary. So for me, I was like, now I understand why certain names, associations didn't quite resonate. And as
mm-hmm.
I got older, I started noticing, okay, so Raphael, yes, to me, you know, masculine. I do have, an aunt and a couple cousins with the name of Raphaelas. They were named after
Mm-hmm.
Raphael.
Yeah.
But for me, Michael, Raphael are very masculine, as with Gabriel, to me, that's more feminine. And, Ariel, Uriel, to me that was always, a feminine energy for me as
Mm-hmm.
well. So but but this is why I love us coming together, because we get to
Mm-hmm.
share how we were raised and how we connect to energy, and how they speak to us, and it can be very different, like like we've been sharing in the in the chats. And I'm not knocking Kyle Gray at all. I love that he included them. I'm happy that he's, for me, it's, I like the fact too, now play the other side of this, is that because when you have a name like Master, like Master Jesus, Master Mary, or all them, at least he is bringing the goddesses into saying, well, they deserve a master, kind of like, um I don't want to say elevation, but a title, to bring them to see that they're still a same part of the circle,
Mm-hmm.
that their energy isn't. So again, works on both sides.
Shaw Woman says women had to build that bridge as men removed or destroyed such feminine uh, divine deities.
Hmm.
And, I have mentioned this movie before. There is a movie out on Prime that's called Mary Magdalene. I don't know if I mentioned it to you or not, Heather. And the unique thing about this is the whole story of Jesus and his ministry is seen through the eyes of Mary. And it's completely different than the story that you see in the Bible. Because, like what Shaw Woman said, all of Mary's the written information and scrolls about Mary Magdalene were kept out of what we know as the Holy Bible. Hi, Jeff. And this movie is really, really interesting because she was the only one at the time, according to this movie, that got what his ministry was about. And it was about something entirely different than all the men that were disciples thought. They were looking for power and war and fight and overcoming the Romans and everything.
Hmm.
But it was, your heart had to be changed, is what
That's
it was. And it's a beautiful movie. If anybody wants to uh, uh, it really kind of opened my eyes to Mary Magdalene, and what a strong force she was. And I mean, she's remarkable. She is remarkable.
And Flowing said, sometimes I think they are parts of one. Can't one have many aspects? Yes, they can, Flowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I went ahead and highlighted, excuse me, that Aaron said angels would be a good paranormal night topic too.
I saw that. That would really be something. Yeah.
I don't know if I would put them in Yeah, it could be considered the realm of yeah, they could. Um, Again, they take it, their energy, and they take on shapes that humans, because from what people have said, their energy and sometimes their brilliance is so strong that we couldn't, as humans, be able to physically be able to handle our bodies. Everything would not be able to
Hmm.
handle their actual appearance. And
Yeah.
so they take on, and then of course, that's where the humans give them the wings. And they very well may have given humans the idea, just imagine us with wings. But for some, just energy. And Jeff said, Flowing, what you just wrote sounds like the beginning of a poem of a couple weeks ago.
Mm. Let's
Oh,
see.
no, she was no whore. No, she wasn't. She was his number one. She was his wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not making that up. It's, they found the scrolls that said, that he had, he kissed her on her lips, which he did not do to the other disciples. Well, that's because they were, you know, they were lovers. They were married,
Mhm.
or
They had a daughter.
they apparently had a daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, let's see. The Lost Sisterhood is a great book,
Mm.
Amanda. I'm going in case I lost. Okay, so there's Flowing's comment, and let me just look at the start. Um, yes, Fatima, May Our Lady of Fatima bring us peace. This world really needs it. It sure does. Let's see. Catching up here. She hung out with the sinners, the criminals, the prostitutes, etc., or what we would consider a sinner. You know. Um, yeah, no, he did not hang out with the elites.
No, no.
No.
Did let's see. Um, The Lost Sisterhood, is that by Julia Ingram or Anne Fortier? Probably Julia Ingram. It says The Lost Sisterhood, The Return of Mary Magdalene, the Mother Mary, and Other Holy Women.
Ooh. Oh,
Uh,
well, we are on that topic. I came across this book. I had purchased it a while ago, and I've been digesting on it because I pick it up, but I'm like, okay, now this goes a bit about against, what I was raised, with Mother Mary. But then again, most of the things that I was raised with, I rebel against anyways. And I thought this was very interesting, and I bought this book. Um, and we know that there is the belief, and there it has been written down at points where women have become pregnant without having, a having intercourse with a male.
mm,
And some bodies, and it's not just women, it's rare for women. It's I'm sure there might be more that it's hidden, but in other, it's been noticed scientifically in other animals. I don't know if it's mammals or whatever, that there are sometimes the females can produce without the need of, it's whatever happens in their biologics, that an egg is produced, a child is produced.
mm.
And there is a woman by the name of Marguerite Mary Rigliosi. Rigogliosi. Oh, I can never say her name right. I'll show the book up in a minute. But it's Riglioso, I believe is how I pronounce it. She has a PhD, and she was very interested in this concept, and has studied, the Bible and other writings. And she actually wrote a book, and it's called "The Mystery Tradition of Miraculous Conception: Mary and the Lineage of Virgin Births." And she sees this as being a
Mm.
possibility that women, especially back in ancient times, who were priestesses, who were there to heal, to teach, especially with the women, having connection to the earth, the natural powers that, that be, whether you want to call her a witch, a priestess, whatever, the village healer, and according to Marguerite, she has seen passages that have led her to believe that women in ancient times had learned a way of, through diet, ritual, um, spiritual practices, been able to have the ability to be able to produce without a a masculine counterpart. Now, this may seem very blasphemous to people, whether not is because you're Christian, you believe in Mary. Just the fact that women need a man. It can't be kind of, not trying to take the male out of the equation, but there have been instances where women and in other animal species where the female is able to produce a child without a physical male, intercourse. And I haven't really got into reading this yet. Um, and it says here decoding the infancy gospel of James. I mean, it's just a really interesting book. I'm going to start picking up again and reading on it. That's just something I wanted to share because there have been times in history where um, women have claimed that they have conceived a child without, a physical intercourse with a male that bodies like other animal species were able to produce. So I just found that very fascinating. Um,
Um, I was just looking. Flowing said, "What was the title of the book about the holy woman?" And it was, hold on just a second. Uh, The Lost Sisterhood, The Return of Mary Magdalene the Mother, Mary, and Other Holy Women by Julia Ingram.
I'm just going to type that in there, Julia Ingram.
So, yeah. We have so much to learn.
Mm-hmm.
We truly do.
And there are people who are the scholars, like Marguerite. She has a PhD. My professor of women in religion in college, she was a Franciscan nun with a PhD, and she taught us about the goddess. She taught us about Wicca,
Mhm.
and not at all did she ever say it was satanic. It was evil. It was, she
Yeah.
showed the very dark side of the patriarchal religions. But then she also did chapters showing how women in those patriarchal religions work to improve the place of women and the understanding of women because they still had love for the faith that they were raised with. Like Fatima, she is still in her faith of what she was raised, but yet she's open minded and is willing to welcome people and look past and the parts that are not correct, are not true, that do not promote love, that do not promote peace. And she's one, her and her sister are one of those people, like you know um Dr. Ferguson, you know who said that they work to help elevate, so, and to bring more people together. um oh, you were taught by Franciscan nuns.
Mm.
Very nice.
Well, the book that we were talking about, that Flowing's talking about, I just
Mm-hmm.
purchased on Kindle for $4.99.
Okay.
So I figured I would not need the hard copy of that, that I can just read it when I'm in bed at night with the, it backlit. But I'm very interested in that. And, I'm hoping that it will clear up a lot of misinformation that, is going around.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
And I need to pull out that book and start reading it too
You
again. The
you
one I
you
just
have
read.
a new deck that you were going to show us, Heather.
Oh, let's see. We're at 538. Okay, well,
Or
I'm
do
not
you?
gonna go card by card, but starting this month, and it's going to be on the 18th. This coming Saturday? No, I think it's going to be Saturday, Karen. Karen, I don't have my calendar near me, um, but I want to start learning about astrology, but in very small baby steps. So for me, I want to just start learning about the zodiac sign and, what's considered, I don't like saying the word, strengths and weaknesses, but the different aspects that are pros and cons. I don't even say cons, but, the challenges, what kind of lessons, each one. They could be negative traits, but starting with each sign in each month, just before the signs begin to change, I'm going to have a show where hopefully Karen will be a regular with me, and because she's learning astrology herself. And June is going to be, is it June or May that we're doing this? I can't remember, Karen, but it's coming up on Gemini, and so
Saturday, the 18th at 3 p.m. is what
okay,
you said.
and we're going to, and this is the deck I got today. It is the Heavenly Bodies Astrology. I've seen the artwork. It's written, the artwork is done by Lily Ashwell. just a beautiful job. I've seen Amy Mystic Rose Tarot use it. Um, I know Nancy says that she has it.
Oh,
She
it's
says it's very
gorgeous.
lovely, and I watched a flip through, and the images are just so soft. They're so beautiful, and so we're going to start, and it's just going to be the sign, and we're going to start learning about each sign. And the first one, and Karen's excited because it's Gemini, and Karen said she's a Gemini. So looking forward to that new
Well, I'm
segment.
looking
I'm gonna
forward
check.
to it because I find astrology, and I have that deck, but I find astrology very, very complicated, and
Me
um,
too.
so I'm going to look forward to that. Heather, maybe I can learn something and not be so intimidated.
Mm, Yep, I just kind of look, and it's something that is really could be really useful when it comes to readings. Like Allison knows the basics of the signs, so when she
Hmm.
does readings, she can go, okay, well, this here is this. This is very Capricorn, or this here is associated with Pisces. So it's for me. I think adding that extra layer. Now that I've got a good understanding of tarot, you know, still working with the courts, but even that's getting better. And start looking at now to incorporate zodiac. So when I get certain court cards or cards, especially during like investigative stuff, whether it's a crime, whether it's going to be a para oracle investigation, um, when I get those cards, that could help even me narrow it down even more. So
Hmm.
okay, this is going to be a male. This could be person could be like I'm going to just keep using Capricorn, Taurus, and I'm like, okay, is this person involved in this disappearance or something? This is a sign that so it's just a little something extra, but it is a very different language. The minute you start talking houses and degrees, I start just glazing right over. So
Yeah,
for me, baby steps,
that's a
baby
good way of
steps.
putting it.
My brain just glazed, and I mean, I would love to eventually learn, like the real sky that Julie Kutsia Watts does, but I'm not even going to think about looking at that until I get a better grasp. And
Yeah,
there's no rush, and so one step, at a time, at a time.
that's right.
And Karen says, I like to explain in real conversation style. There you go. So let's see. I replaced my Oracle of the Radiant Sun. I sold it before I start. I don't know what the Oracle of the Radiant Sun is, but it sounds beautiful.
It's kind of like the sister companion, or the to the moon, the astrology deck.
Oh, to this
It's
one here? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's kind of they're um, often listed close together. When you buy one, they throw the other one up there for you.
And Jackie, you're right. It's like a different language to me as well. So I haven't even looked at the cards myself yet because we went to Barnes and Noble today. And then I'm telling you, this world, I don't know what's going on with people, but driving used to be my zone, my joy. And now it's just like I get out driving within a few minutes. Oh my God, get me home. What's the matter with people? So I didn't want to handle my cards in that type of energy, and I had to, decompress. But I mean, the box, the artwork that's on the cards, on the box, all created by Lily, just absolutely beautiful. It's like a little keepsake box.
Hmm.
So after you take out the other box, you have this beautiful little box, and it has this lovely little saying in here: "Heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads." So it's just beautifully packaged, beautifully done. I was able to get it. Thank you to Nancy and her support of my art. And it comes with a beautiful, book that the artist even designed. And so I'm looking forward to sitting on my bed tonight and start working with my cards. And nice little segue. Those are
If
some of the pieces.
if you look in the background, you'll see the three of the pieces that I got from Heather. They're kind of hard to see, but
They're frames.
yeah, they're framed and I love them. I've got the other one in my bedroom. But
Hey, Tom, what's going on? Tom, early rituals here, and so is TK. Hello, Teresa. Hugs back to you, my dear. So yes, lots of wonderful things to look forward to. Was there
I
anything else?
I was just looking at something, and we were talking about the divine masculine,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at this woman in total control of herself, And the
Love
divine
that deck.
masculine popped out. And this is the card of the divine masculine. And I want to read you what it says because I think it's really interesting. I'm sure you've read it, Heather.
I
Chances
removed it from my
are,
deck.
unless you are one of the lucky few, you weren't raised with a living example of divine masculine embodiment. Because the men in our culture are also bombarded with messages of what they should and shouldn't be. They are required to ditch their inner feminine in order to be perceived as being tough and powerful. They often contort themselves to meet the unrealistic demands of a toxic patriarchy, which means we weren't exposed to the healthy traits of masculinity. Balanced leadership, conscious protection, and healthy assertiveness were in short supply. Here we go. As a result, the masculine voice inside our heads is often critical, harsh, and domineering. Your femininity deserves an inner masculine presence who encourages, leads, challenges, and downright worships your femininity. A woman in total control of herself knows that while she may not have been raised with a good example of this divine masculine, it is her job to discover a means of growing him within herself. She is willing to release the toxic thoughts and ideas inside her head that would diminish or try to control her. She is willing to embrace the fierce wild God. Let's see, where am I?
Fierce, wild,
Wild God. Yeah, whoop, whoop.
I love that.
Here we go. Inside her, who can hold her feminine in his great protective arms. Now is the time to banish the drill sergeant of the psyche and formulate a new relationship to the encouraging male presence inside yourself. So I just thought that was really kind of goes with what we've been talking about. Kind of, sort of. Maybe it's a stretch, but I like it.
I'm actually surprised that she really even included him in there because that book is really how she's got very strong feelings of what the patriarchy has done to women, and sometimes it's a little strong for me, but at the same time, I can respect where she's coming from. And the art was created with her husband, so there was already there's still that that there's that respect, and it's just her putting out how she feels and bringing out, because the past isn't always pretty to look at. And early ritual, fierce wild God. I knew there was a reason I was called here.
Thank you for being here, Tom.
And Tom has been working on, I hope you're still working on it, Tom, but when before we went and did our live with Allison a couple of weeks ago, Tom was getting back into sculpting. He is an incredible sculptor. He's working on a Pan statue, and he was just doing the initial body torso, and oh my God, it was just fantastic. The already the muscular, he can tell that he has an understanding of muscle and bone when it comes to the human figure. Because in college, I had to take those classes and do the same thing myself, even though I was really awful at the three-dimensional aspect of it. So it looks incredible, and I hope, Tom, you're still working on that. Can't wait to see it finished. So we are at 5:49. We still have some time, so I went ahead and put up if anyone would like a divine feminine reading, and I have 2 people so far. And see, Tom, you got to finish it now. Tom, I would love to see the statues flowing. So Karen says, I have so many things I could just say on masculine versus feminine energies. No gender, the energy. You learn a lot about signs, knowing just that part. Wow. Yep. And Tom says, it's been slow moving, but I have been working on it little by little. Awesome. And Jackie, right? Yes, we need to see it. So, and you know what, Tom, would be wonderful is when you're finished it. And I think I could speak for Nancy on this. We would love for you to come share him with us.
Oh, yeah.
On the Divine Feminine. and bring in the divine masculine and share that. That would be what, no pressure. You don't have to, yay, nay, whatever in chat, but the invitation, that I think that would be beautiful. Yes, Heather's putting you on the spot, but I'm an artist, and Tom, you are a true artist. I mean, your technique, it's exquisite. I mean, it was something that I couldn't develop in college. I struggled with the 3D, trying to build human form with, I mean, and I loved the clay. I really wanted to work it. I wanted to make all this cool. And for me, it was just, and it was 1 or 2 semesters, and it was like, okay, back to focusing on, the painting and the drawing aspects. So it's not easy. And yep, no deadlines, whenever, no rush, but yeah. Um, well, I'm a terrible painter, so we are even. There you go. Alrighty. So first person up, let's get Jackie, because Jackie is up late. So let's see, what am I going to pull from for Jackie?
Well, I already have the cards out for Jackie. I've been fast and furiously shuffling. Jackie, the first card that I got for you is the card of initiation. And I want you to look at this. This is from the Goddess Temple Oracle cards. And this is what it says. I want to read this because I'm not familiar with this card. Understand that initiation is the point of departure and not the point of arrival along your path of spiritual growth. It is a rebirth, a change of state, and an awareness of physical, emotional, and spiritual experience. Gather the signs, nurture the effects, and take responsibility for the journey you have dedicated yourself to. Experience these changes with an open heart and mind, letting yourself be crossed by your emotions. Overcome the test and bolster your knowledge, not through your mind, but through experience. And the goddess card that I pulled for you was Isis, reclaiming magic. Call back your power and what is rightfully yours. Talking about how our power was lost. This is telling you to call it back. And I think going hand in hand with calling back this magic is this card, the Whale Memory. And we all have a memory within us that we don't remember. And we have to intentionally search out that memory through meditation, through communing with our spirit guides and angels, a goddess that we work with, perhaps. And I think that's what this is asking you to do, Jackie. And I just love the power of this card. Look at the woman there that's swimming next to this whale.
Oh, I didn't even see her. There she is, right there.
That.
Okay.
It's such power. And I don't know, whale memory is it holds like a sacredness, I think, a deep sacredness for us all. That's what I have for you, Jackie.
That's beautiful. And Jackie says thank you. And another interesting aspect when we talk about goddesses and how they are presented, Isis was one of the very first goddesses to be sculpted or have statuary with her holding a child. So it was before Mary holding Jesus. You had Isis holding her Horus, and then it went back further on in other cultures and even further back. And so some people feel that the Isis energy may be Mary, a reincarnation, maybe energetically, or possibly even Mary herself, that strong, mother goddess energy coming in through other. I just find it very fascinating. I know I keep using that word fascinating, but just how cultures before another culture and you keep going back further and further, and you keep seeing that same symbolism, that same, you know, um, imagery, iconography, whatever you want to call it. Um, but yes, you know, Mary, Isis, the Middle Eastern Ishtar, um, even go back further, Astarte, Asherah. You know, a lot of these are that lineage that Marguerite, I think, is starting to look into to see how far back it goes. So, just very beautiful. And Tom said, or just blatantly stolen and co-opted. You know, that's true as well. But hello, Kristen Louise, my dear. Um,
Hey, Kristen.
and Jackie says, oh, very nice. Thank you, Nancy. I love the whale memory card. Just
Yes.
gorgeous.
You need to embiggen yourself, Heather.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. So, Jackie, and Jackie, you have to join Nancy and I. Would love to have you.
Yeah.
Got some shows already under your belt. Come and join Nancy and I for a goddess. So goddesses, Jackie, I got Sarasvati for you. And according to the Kleppner and Reed deck, she is about mastery. And anybody knows people from Indian culture, Indonesian, Asian culture, as a child, it's ingrained for them to learn and master whatever it is that they are most passionate about or what they want to learn. And so it's no wonder that she's been given the title of mastery. Um, the Hindu goddess asks you to enter her art of domain of art, language, knowledge, music, poetry, and make the commitment to go the distance. Immerse yourself, immerse yourself, body, mind, and spirit in discovering all aspects of what is at hand. Learn and then learn more. Right now, if you adopt the role of apprentice and are willing to devote your heart and mind to something, you will become a true master. Deep wisdom knows only continuous learning. So there really is, even though it says mastery and master, there really is no master. We're constantly learning, developing. And I feel like that too on the spiritual side. That could be a conversation too, you know, for another day. Masters on the other side, are they consider, do they themselves consider themselves masters, or do they continue to evolve and come back in other incarnations, because there really is no quote unquote mastery, total mastery. Um, so it's here, no matter what question you've come to explore, Sarasvati reminds you that the pursuit of mastery is never ending. So enjoy every moment of it. So, all these new things that you are mastering, your ability to read, to connect with spirit, anything personal in your life, whether it's creativity, family projects, everything that you're passionate about, that you enjoy doing, connect with that. And I have two cards pulled, one from the healing heart, and it's the intuitive heart. Again, the intuition, mastery of that, step into your current destiny. And that's that card there for you. I just love this. I mean, there's the heart again, your passion, your intuition. What is it that you want to move forward? Start working mastery on. Just diving head deep into whatever these waters are, that when you come out, you feel cleansed, you feel renewed, you feel energized. And Jackie, you're one of a kind. We all are. But in this reading, you are one of a kind. So try not to. For me, when I first saw this, I thought it was a mask, and it's actually a star. But for me too, is remove if. So my initial reaction was a mask. So don't worry about wearing a mask. Take off any mask that you feel you need to wear. Let who you truly are shine through, and like that star that she's holding. There's that star. There's your goal. There's your hope. Whatever it is, intuitively continue to move forward to that. Tap into Sarasvati every now and then if you need to, for that mastery, to just to connect with that deep wisdom. When you feel like you need to connect deeper, reach out to her if you resonate with her, and ask her to help you connect to that deeper wisdom, that intuition that you have. And I could go on, and I'm going to stop now. So let me put my cards. Oh, I love Agador. Hello, beautiful boy.
Yes.
Um,
I went ahead and pulled cards for Fatima. Is that okay? Because I saw
Yeah.
that she was next in the. And you know what, Fatima? I only need 2 cards for you today. The first one, I always go to Mother Mary for you, because and the one that I got for you in the Mother Mary deck is Our Lady of Ripening on the Vine, and I love this for you. You're closer to fruition than you may realize. The manifesting desires of your heart are the heavenly fruit becoming heavy on the vine and ripening, ready to be enjoyed. Fruit that is not gathered and eaten will rot, fertilize the earth, and be born yet again. Nothing is wasted, yet the fruit could sweetly be savored sweetly by those capable of receiving. Gratefully claim and enjoy your harvest. And the second card that jumped out of the deck is Our Lady of Guadalupe, Unconditional Love. And I love this for you, Fatima. Let Our Lady stir you, the yearning for mother and calling to come home to yourself. As all the great mothers did before her, the Blessed Mother embodies the bond between the whole of existence and every aspect of itself. When you struggle to dwell in this love, you can always ask for her succor. But remember, where judgment resides, the Holy Mother cannot abide. Under her starry watch, out beyond right and wrong, no prayer is refused. When you sense the presence of such infinite love, you will know you have returned to the divine lap from whence you came. And I love that for you, Fatima. That
it's
is just
beautiful.
absolutely beautiful. I just,
Alrighty, thank you. So Fatima went ahead and looked for the Mary card in the Colette Baird Reed deck. And what's fascinating is when I left Arizona, I was friends with this woman who I felt like a sister and a mother. I knew her. I knew her in a past life. We both did. I met her while I was working at Crystal Magic, and after I left, we ended up losing touch. She wasn't well, and the number I had with her ended up changing or something, and I lost connection with her, and I felt like I lost a mother in many ways. And when I got this deck from all these years later from Colette Baird Reed, the woman that she used for Mother Mary's picture looks exactly almost to the T like Lorraine, the woman who I felt was like a mother to me. And so this is a different aspect of Mary, but I think it's a beautiful one. The colors, everything. This is just gorgeous. And they for her miracles. When you think of Mother Mary, think of miracles. And so it says here what jumped right out here is that you are a powerful co creator. And so you are responsible and accountable for the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that seed your field of dreams. Remember, miracles are uncanny evidence that from the invisible world, life springs into form without any reasonable cause for the effect. Um, Mother Mary reminds you those miracles that you too can call into being. So you have the power to call miracles forth yourself. She wants us to know that in each and every one of us, we are our own divine miracles. We can call to her to help us add her energy to our energy to create the miracles, but we have to take that step forward ourselves. And the card that goes with that is a very interesting one I pulled from my other deck, and it's called the Flirty Heart. And yes, it's a little couple being flirty and all, but at the same time, we were talking earlier about the divine masculine and feminine. And that's what we have here in a card. We have a man and a woman, and they're sharing a very precious, gentle, intimate moment with each other. And again, it's that remembering to bring in that balance. And you were talking about it being the anniversary of Fatima today and the beginning of peace. And I think a lot of that peace comes from the balance of the masculine and feminine. So your namesake for Mary and her miracles that day for world peace is coming forth too in the cards. And the message on the card is having fun, engaging your alluring nature. So making sure that we do not, she wants to make sure that you are engaging those parts of yourself that are pleasurable. And this doesn't have to necessarily mean a sexual nature. It could be very well. As we get older, it doesn't mean that we can't stop having our feelings and we're all adults here, our orgasms and our pleasurableness, no matter what age. However, we seek intimacy with ourselves or with our partners. It's not a sinful act. It's that beautiful. It's the miracle of life. That's what brought us all into creation. Was that beautiful balance between the masculine and the feminine? And so that card is also saying, don't hesitate to go ahead and give yourself that special attention, whether it's bathing in rose petals, having a nice, glass of wine, um, having your feet rubbed, or, anything that brings you that extra sense of pleasure and fun. So just that's my message for you, Fatima. And I hope you had a beautiful Mother's Day, you and Odelia. I do believe in her miracles. Thank you. And I do ask for our community to get miracles also. Yep. Nothing wrong with asking for a miracle. And I
Yes.
hear that song in my head from when we were younger. All I need is a miracle. All I need is you. That was Mike and the Mechanics, I believe.
Ah,
Yeah, Heather got to whip out the song. So next up is Odelia, and I'm sure you already have cards.
I have two cards for Odelia. The first
Okay.
one is from the Mother Mary oracle that I have, and it's Our Lady of Blessings Bestowed. Sometimes we need signs from Spirit to help us remain devoted to our sacred life path when evidence of success in the physical realm eludes us. There is an art to detaching from outcome while still doing everything within your power to commit yourself to what matters to your heart. Blessings are taking shape, although you cannot see it now. Your soul is pulling off a masterstroke of healing manifestation. The second card that I got for you is it is the Rainbow of Forgiveness. And rainbows are often unexpected. You just look up when there's mist in the sky, and there is one. And this card could be that there is someone that you need to forgive, or you need to forgive yourself. And just embrace this forgiveness and let a huge weight be lifted, um, because we have to forgive in order to be forgiven. That's what I have for you, Adelia.
Beautiful. And I loved this really quick. I wanted to share what I was talking about pampering yourself, doing something that makes you feel good, a foot rub or something. Fatima puts up, I did get a pedicure this week.
Ooh, all
Yay,
right.
Fatima. I'm glad you
Wonderful.
enjoyed. Oh, it's been years since I've had one. So those are wonderful. So I'm glad you got to have one. So, Odelia, two cards I got for you. Um, they're both from the Resurrection Oracle deck. And the first one is Sick and Tired. And in this one here, it's kind of almost like a little drama queen, but is this woman is just she's leaning back. It's very exaggerated, but to get to the point. Um, you're just being sick and tired. This could be you're sick and tired of people. that around you, the way that people treat you, the way that you see the world. I know you and Fatima, in the same circles, trying to pray for peace. Well, all of us hoping for peace, praying for peace, trying to handle this energy, this world that we live in. And I'm telling you today, Odelia, I'm there with you. I was just so sick and tired of it all, of what I was seeing out there with people. But then at the same time, there were, wonderful people that I came across too. But being sick and tired, making sure that you're getting rest too, making sure that you're not allowing other people's drama to affect you and your peace of mind. We want peace for the world, but we got to make sure that we have peace for ourselves as well. And she's just kind of sitting on her beautiful throne there on her chair saying, "Oh God, I've had enough." No. And she's probably sitting there thinking, I need boundaries. So again, as always, making sure that those healthy boundaries are up energetically, too. Making sure that you're taking care of your own physical, because you don't want to get sick. Because when we get sick and tired, we have those emotions. Like that. I think Nancy was saying, being able to forgive and to be forgiven. A lot of that stuff that we keep in us does cause that dis-ease in our bodies, that illness, and that can just, and it just goes through all of our different bodies, our emotional, physical, mental, all of it, spiritual. So if somebody's making you feel like you are, sick and tired of just, and making you physically feel that way, time to take a step back. And the other card I have is the face that you put on. So sometimes we have to, put on faces for people that, for our jobs or for certain people, family, friends, whether, they may or may not agree with what we believe in, whether this be politics, religion, anything, in our personal lives. And sometimes we feel like we do have to put a mask on to keep ourselves safe and protected and keep those boundaries up. So, just watching that the face that you put on, there's a word I'm looking for. um it's like when you go, that there's a face that you have to put on for people, but to make sure that you don't forget to take that mask off, not just for the people who do care about you or around you, for yourself as well. I know that's probably not typically what that card represents, but that's kind of what I was feeling, is like, because you get sick and tired and you just want to put that mask on and you're like, okay, this is how I'm going to be, this is how I'm going to see myself, this is how I see. And you got to remember, sometimes we have to remove that mask and not become and allow that mask to become everything that we are. I mean, sometimes we have to change those masks, but just knowing that the face that you put on, sometimes it has to be a strong one, especially when you got to stand in your truth and stand in your boundaries. And that's where I'm going to leave it right there. That's
Okay.
why they're like, nope, no more, all done. So I hope that resonated with you, Adelia. Um,
Um,
and Kristen Louis said, neurodivergent people have to mask all the time. It can be exhausting. So thank you.
I found a beautiful exercise for us to close with when we're ready for that. It is from the goddess Nut, the Egyptian sky queen.
Mhm.
I had never really, I don't know very much about her. So when we're ready to do that, Heather, just let me
Okay.
know. Okay.
I'm just going through, I believe we have read for everybody. And yes, Tom, I knew I was forgetting one. I couldn't think of her name off the top of my head. I thought I said, but Ainana. She was actually one of the goddesses that I had a priest and saint ceremony before I left Arizona with the women in my women's group, and I had to design it and create it, and I felt like Ainana needed to be there, and I had a goddess for each of the women that was participating in my priestess sainthood.
Mm.
And Ainana, to me, even this day, is a strong resonance still with me, because she had to go through all these stages of just removing everything. It was like She had to take off her crown. She had to take off her jewels. She had to take off her clothing. Anything that was a materialistic representation of, you know, of the above world, of wealth, of her status, to go down to face her sister or her shadow self had to be removed. So Ainana is a very powerful goddess, and thank you for bringing her up. That's a goddess probably I would like to, talk about one day, moving forward. And bye, Karen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoy dinner. Beautiful as always. Love you, my dear. And so we don't have anybody else. We're at 6:16, so I think this would be a perfect time to go
Okay.
ahead.
Well, this
And
is something for us all to do in the morning. Okay.
yeah.
This is Nut, the Egyptian Sky Queen. Welcome, Nut, Egyptian goddess of the turquoise day sky and the royal blue night. Nut arches over the earth, animating all things with her cosmic regeneration. In Egypt, heaven was the body of a woman. Before getting out of bed in the morning, take a few moments to start your day with the Sky Queen way. Imagine lying on the soft green ground, gazing into the endless azure sky. You feel the brilliant warmth of the sun softening the tension in your muscles. You feel safe and peaceful. You stretch your body fully. Your hands join her fingers. Your feet touch her toes. You feel dynamically charged with life force energy. While breathing deeply, let a single word or short phrase come to you. For example, quiet, room to grow, good enough, no more lies, laughter. You may hear the goddess Nut whisper an important message in your ear. Let each word or phrase be your mantra for the day. When it feels right for you, gently unplug yourself. When you open your eyes, you feel strongly expansive and energized. You are ready to let the Sky Queen bring you a fresh new day. Something wonderful is about to happen. And the affirmation is, I stretch my imagination and soar with new ideas. I have many choices for change. I review the mapway of my personal path. I look forward with enthusiasm to the adventures that await me.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Very nice. And sorry about the confusion with I was having problems with my mouse and StreamYard again, and I was trying to click on one thing and it was putting me up to another, then tried taking it off and it wouldn't. So we got it all under control. Jackie says beautiful. It was. Dina says nice. And really quick, Odelia says both of us were spot on. Thank you both very much. I want to share that with you.
Yeah.
And Carmela, who we know is flowing. Nancy, thank you. She loves that. Fatima, wow, very beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard her name pronounced Newt. I've heard it pronounced Nut, and I've seen art where she kind of just like stretches right over,
Yeah.
So when you said the stretching of the touching your toes and everything, yep.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. I was like, ooh, I should do that tonight.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had to stretch a little bit. We all need a good
Anytime.
stretch.
She's there waiting for us, isn't she? Yeah.
She is.
This has been wonderful hanging out with all these wonderful chatters.
Yes, as
I
always.
enjoyed
I
this.
always look forward to Mondays.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always walk away feeling good and uplifted and, and happy.
Yes.
So, Nancy, do you have anything coming up this week? Any guest spots?
I am not. Let me look. I am not sure. I don't think so. No. I have a birthday coming up on Friday, so I'm excited about that. My poor children have Mother's Day and my birthday back to back every year.
So Shan's mom, her birthday used to land on Mother's Day, depending on what day. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, Sunday I am going to be on with Heather and Jeff for poetry reading.
And not just in chat, but she's going to be joining us live, so we're going to get to see her in action.
Goodness. Okay.
Oh my goodness, everybody
Break yourself,
knows
everybody.
the beautiful poetry you write and you put in chat. Um, and I want to share this in case anyone didn't see it. Tom said, "This is a great group of folks." I concur. This is why, this is what makes my channel matter to me. To having a channel,
Yeah.
or the folks like you and everybody that comes and hangs out with us,
Yes, we
reads
have.
with us. Sending peace and love to everybody. Yes, ooh, it's gonna be fun. Yes, Louise, lovely people. Kristen Louise. I keep saying Louise because that was my cousin's name. So, ooh, happy birthday! She's an amazing
Yeah.
poet. She is. We've seen
Thank
her work in
you,
chat. Yep. Oh my goodness. So, tomorrow, Tarot Talk Tuesdays with Rain. Jackie won't be able to join us.
Oh,
But it'll be just Rain and I, but still come by and say hi. That's always on Spiritual Rain's
mhm.
channel. Wednesday, I don't know if I'm doing an investigative tarot. I have a case. Not a typical like current one. This has to do with a new wage writer from back in the 60s and 70s. People may know him, Carlos Castaneda. Learned about some not so nice things about him. He actually had a cult, and women and stuff, and women. It's a trust me. I was shocked when even Shan, because Shan has some of his books, and we had no idea about his history. So,
Now,
um,
who's this again?
his name was Carlos Castaneda.
Oh, okay.
He has quite a few books published. He said that he wrote these books based on, you know, uh, ancient teachings from a shaman that he met, um, named Don Juan, and it grew to the point where he ended up having a cult of women, and changing their names, leaving their family. It became very cult,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
Scientology or something else.
Mm.
And at his passing, um, five of the women disappeared. Her remains were found later on in 2003 out in
Mm.
the desert, and the other women have never been heard from or seen again. And I thought to me, that just came out of nowhere. So I've
Oh,
been letting spirit kind of bringing certain cases to me and whatnot. So as I go along, so either I will do that for maybe one of the individuals on Wednesday alone, or I may just wait for Jackie to come back. Not sure.
mhm.
But that's a shame. Power corrupts so easily. It sure does. And it makes me wonder too about Lynn B. Andrews. She was kind of like considered the female counterpart. They came out, in the 80s with her books, because she was a white woman who ended up meeting and working with allegedly Cree women up in Canada, and she had out like 8 or 9 books, and she still does conferences and things and stuff. So yeah, so it's always good to kind of keep checking in with yourself spiritually, and the people that you
Yes.
read and you follow, and make sure that things still feel right. And if they don't, then
Yes.
something's your inner guides telling you
Very
something's not quite
important.
right. You need to pay attention. So yeah, these women ended up changing their names, disconnected with family. He had a place in LA, was called the Compound or something like that. They became known as the Witches of Westwood, and I'm just like,
Oh,
oh boy, here we go. And so yeah, very interesting case. So that'll either be an investigative tarot, or because it starts to tap into you know mystic stuff, it might be para oracle. I'm not sure, but haven't quite figured that out yet. Friday, I believe I'm with Allison. I know her son is in visiting this week, so I don't know if we're going to have a show. We might. She's so excited to see her boy Wyatt coming in.
yeah,
So
I'm sure.
and then Saturday I have Karen, and then Sunday I have Nancy and Jeff. So
Yeah.
it's good to be back.
And
And
flowing says never give away yourself.
no, mm-mm,
Amen to that. Yes.
exactly. So if anybody is interested in reading about that case, if you just type in the Witches of Westwood, there's an article, and it brings up all that and shares their story. So
Wow.
Oh, you need a show. I missed last Friday's. Yeah, I did too. Love to have you on again, Tom. We had a great time when our last show that we did. Tom was with Allison and I. We had a great discussion. But Tom, I want to do a para oracle with you. There's places that the Black Month of Pontefract in England. Check that out if you get a chance, and let me know if you might want to read on that. So, all righty, 6:25. We're still good. Everybody, thank you for joining Nancy and I, and we hope you have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you on another one of our shows or in the chat.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Patty. Mwah.
Yes.